Are you ready? You both ready? All right, great. So whenever we're sitting down with somebody, right? Let's say I'm training, Orlane, and she introduces me with, the person that we're sitting down with.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this is my trainer. He's awesome at what he does, and I'm so glad that you decided to sit down with me and gave me the chance to actually see him do what he does, so I could learn it myself. And I would hope that you ask as many questions as possible, so that when I need to do it, I know how to answer them. And then so that's how she introduces me, and I introduce myself, right? And then first things first, sitting down with somebody in the work that we do, finances, we need to build rapport. Especially in the cold market as well, they need to trust us and like us, right? And in doing that, you kind of like take down their walls. They're not defensive anymore, right? And the way that we do that is something called form, right? Form, FORM, right? F stands for family. So what you'll say is something like, hey, I'm gonna ask you some questions, right? Is that okay? And in return, I'm gonna provide some value to you. Number one, family. How's your family like? Do you have kids? Are you married? And do you have people in the area, cousins? Oh, what does your husband do for work? What does your aunt do for work? That way, you already know that they have a market around them already that you could go see. If you could see them that same day, you could go see those people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you already know that they have a hot market and a warm market, right? And you kind of know what they do, what kind of people they are, the type of work that they do, right? So that's family. Always occupation. What do you do for work, right? That way, you can then ask, well, why did you choose that type of job? If they're in nursing, a lot of times they say, I like helping people, right? So we help people as well. People, so you're building a connection there, right? And now you could find out if they like their job or not. Oh, I don't really like my job. Why not? Right? Now they're giving you reasons for you to recruit them to our team, right? And if they do like their job and they're like, oh, I can't think of anything that would change, one of the things you could ask is, well, do you feel like that they're overpaying you or underpaying you? Oh, I could definitely, earn more money. Oh, so you would like to make more money. Okay, great. And I get paid every week. Every 2 weeks? Well, do you love getting paid every 2 weeks, or would you rather get paid more often? Oh, if I could get paid once a week, that'd be great. Well, guess what? Primerica pays every day. So now, at the end, when you're recruiting them, you could mention that, right? So all of this is figuring out everything that you need to recruit them and to actually do a business with them. R is recreation. What do you like to do for fun? I like to spend time with my kids. I like to go to restaurants. I like to travel. I like to do this, right? Now you can ask, well, do you feel like you're doing enough of that right now? No, I work all the time, I work 60 hours a week. I have multiple jobs. I have to rest, right? So now you can sell them on the freedom of time that Primerica offers. Now, once they free up some time, they could spend more time with their family. Doing the recreation. Right? You imagine, hey, why do you, and the last one being motivation, it ties into the recreation as well, because now you could ask, well, Alberto, why do you wake up to go to work at 5 a.m. every morning, right? You work 12-hour shifts, like that's pretty hard job. I know you work to a place where you have to do heavy labor stuff. Like, why do you do that? Oh, I gotta pay the bills. I got all these family, responsibilities, family stuff like that. Well, how long do you plan on doing that?
As long as I have to.
As long as you have to, but I promise you, like, if I could show you a better way to make more money and it's not that hard on your body, would that benefit you? Absolutely. Okay, great. So now you figure out their motivations, and all they're doing is telling you everything that they need from you, from Primerica,
to qualify for the business,
for the business and for recruit, right? Perfect. So doing that in a normal conversation, this takes about 2 minutes.
Right.
It doesn't take long at all, right? And like I said, you're exchanging information about yourself. So you learn everything about them. Now it's time for them to learn a little bit about you.
You build rapport.
Right. So hey, one of the reasons I got involved into this business was because once I saw what it was, I saw that there's education here that I wasn't afforded in school. I went to high school, I went to college, and nobody sat me down and showed me how money works. Right? So that's why I got involved. But why I stayed is because I saw the difference it would make in other people's lives, because I see that is very important.
Exactly.
Right? So I see
100%.
the products, everything's very, very good, especially for my community, the Haitian community. Growing up there, now I'm able to see the type of things that we should have learned, but we never learned. So now I put it as my own duty to actually go and change my community.
100%.
Right? And a lot of us in the office are minorities. We all feel that way, right? But 100%. Now you need to be able to articulate it to somebody that you're sitting down with, right? So, like I mentioned, a big part of what we do is financial education, right? So, if I could sum up what we do it's kind of like a financial GPS, right? We figure out where people are right now, where they would like to be in the future, and we sit down and map out the best route for them to get there. Right? So, like I mentioned, you and we never got a financial education. So, I'm just going to give you a general overview of what that is, right? So, this is how a financial program should look. Usually, you would have the person read it, right?
Yep.
And so, you get paid every 2 weeks, right? And at the end of every pay period, whether you get paid on a Thursday or Friday, how you get a paycheck, right? And how important would you say that paycheck is to you?
Very important.
Very important, right? 10 plus, right? If I gave you the option, you'd probably say 1,000, right? And the reason for that is because it takes care of your family, right? It puts food on the table, right? It takes care of the children, right? Absolutely. So it's very, very important, right? But isn't it crazy how, we wake up, we break our backs, we work long hours for a single paycheck that nobody ever taught us how to take care of it. So at the end of the day, we always feel that we need to make more. The paycheck is not enough. Okay? But a lot of us, most people that you and I know, I would say 80 to 90% of the people that we know, their financial education is, I get a paycheck, I take care of my financial responsibilities. If I have a little left over, I throw it in savings, I'm doing well. I'm doing good. Right? And so, with that mentality, what happens is we're making a whole bunch of mistakes we don't even realize we're making. And if you make a mistake long enough, 10, 20, 30 years, it becomes a bigger problem later on that you may not even feel that you could get yourself out of, right? So what we do in Primerica is we highlight those problems early on so they don't become a major issue later on. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So before any of us could say that we're doing well financially, we at Primerica believe there's anywhere from 4 to 6 accounts that we need to have in place. Okay? The first two being a checking and a savings account, which I'm sure you're probably familiar with, right? I bank with Bank of America. What bank do you guys use?
Citizens.
Citizens Bank.
Go green.
So go green. So so that's an amazing bank, but virtually all banks work the same, right? I'm sure when you went to open up your checking account, they offered you a savings account, right?
Yes.
And vice versa, if you were to open up a savings account, they would offer you a checking account.
Yes.
The reason for that is because the bank knows that these two accounts work together, right? The checking account is for enough money to pay the bills. You take care of everything, right? And then if you have anything left over, you transfer it to your savings.
Right.
That's why the bank knows the savings account as a put and take account. You put money in, you take money out when you need it, right? And the bank makes this process very easy, right? They give you a checkbook, they give you a beautiful card. Now even online, you could just pay everything online. You don't even need to go through that, right? So they make the process very, very easy. And your checking account, because money is going in and out so often, you earn a 0% interest rate on that, right? I mean, that's not exciting at all, is it?
No.
That's absolutely not, right?
I don't
and
like
the
no
savings
zeros.
account, though you have your immediate emergencies in there, right? So that's money where if I have to go to work tomorrow, but right now I have a flat tire, I take that money, fix the tire so I could go to work tomorrow, right? Small emergencies. And your savings account will run you 0 to 3% interest rate on your money, generally. Now, I know some banks, they do charge up 5% temporarily, but that's because of the way the market is right now, right? It used to be 5.5, but it's starting to go back down because the government is mandating them to pay people more just because of how the market is. But generally speaking, 0 to 3%. Now, if you check your bank statements, it's a whole lot closer to 0 than it is to 3, right? You'll see 0.01, right?
Right.
So it's very low. And
Yep.
this is very, very important. I'll show you why in a minute, right? Now, as I mentioned, this is done by your bank, okay? So we don't do those at all, right? From this point forward is what we do. The first account being a dedicated emergency fund, right? Keyword being dedicated, because it's a do not touch account, where you have 3 to 6 months of expenses in that account. That way, you know, in case of a big emergency, would you consider losing your job a big emergency?
Absolutely.
What about a disability?
Yes.
Right? So you know you have an account. That way, when collection runs out, you can still take care of your family. I would even go as far as to say, once we set everything up, if we could get to 12 months of expenses in that account, that'd be great. Because what happened during COVID, I know people that are still recovering from COVID financially, right? So when COVID happened, people were sent home, right? People were told, and everybody panicked because they didn't know how long it would last, so they didn't know how they were going to take care of their family in the coming months.
Right.
That way, if they have something like this in place, they know, okay, I have 6 months of my expenses in an account. Let me calm down and figure out what I'm going to do from that point forward, right? Now, before COVID, we didn't know something like this could have happened, right? This is why I recommend, if we could get to a whole year of expenses, because if COVID happens again, 6 months gone, everything recoups, you still have 6 months in that account. Does that make sense?
Right.
Awesome.
So you're not starting over.
Exactly, you're not starting over, right? You're covering all your bases.
Right.
Now, the next account being a retirement account, right? So, would you guys happen to know what retirement age is right now?
50.
50?
63.
I wish it was 50. Right. Very close. It used to be 62, then it got to 65, now it's 67, right? So
aren't they making it higher?
Yeah, they're working on making it 70. The reason for that is they figure that people are living longer, so they raise it to give people more time to actually save for retirement, right? Now, I started working officially around the age 18 or 19. What age did you guys start working?
15.
15, but that's pretty young. You guys did great. But generally speaking, most people kind of like start working at the age of 18, 19, 20, right? So we'll use the age of 20, right? Now from 20 to 67, that's 47 years of our lives, right? That's 47 years of working. And this is very sad because I would say that those are some of the best years of our lives, right?
Right.
We still have our youth.
Right.
We still have the energy to do the things that we want to do. Right. Imagine getting to 67 and say, now it's time to enjoy life. That's pretty sad, right?
Yeah.
Right? Because and the reason for I say it's very sad is because you're working for 40 years. You're working 40 hours a week at least, right? 40, 60, 80 hours a week.
Right.
For 40 years to retire with 40% of your income. Isn't that's ridiculous, right?
That's horrible. Yeah.
That's horrible, right? But if I were to give you $100 million right now, tomorrow, would you clock in for work?
No.
Absolutely not, right? Why? Because retirement has nothing to do with age. Okay? It has everything to do with money. The age is just there. That's the government telling you, hey, by this age, you need to have money somewhere for you to not have to go to work. But guess what? If you don't have enough, what do you have to do?
Work.
You have to get back to work. That's why when we go to Walmart, when we go to Lowe's, we see these people saying welcome. They look like they should be retired, right?
Oh yeah.
But guess what? They weren't properly prepared with something like this, so now they have to continue to work, which is sad, right? So retirement account is a long-term growth account, right? I'm sure you've heard of 401ks and 403bs. 403bs basically they function the same as 401ks, but for government type of jobs and nonprofits, teachers and stuff like that, right? So in your 401k, the literal first page, it tells you your 401k should not be your only source of retirement income. So that means even the government is telling you need to have your individual retirement account, which is what an IRA is, right? So we do Roth IRAs and traditional IRAs, right? And other investment opportunities, which are variable annuities, right? And now in doing this, these accounts, you're in terms of investments, they're performing at 9 to 12%. Okay? Now remember that your bank is giving you 0 to 3. And why the 9 to 12% is very important is think of it this way. Usually I have the How Many Works book on page 15. Open to page 15.
Okay.
Oh my God. This
Open
is
to
good.
page 15.
Right? I got a tool too. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, this is how we learn.
So page 15, you'll see what I mean. Guess what that is? The rule of 72, right?
Oh.
So the difference between 9 to
Game
12%
changer.
and 0 to 3% is if you were 19 years old and I gave you $10,000 and you went to the bank with it and I told you you save it for retirement, you go through Citizens Bank and just for the case of the example, they give you 3%. At the end of 48 years, that $10,000 becomes $40,000. Would you be able to retire with $40,000? Would you?
No,
be?
no, we
Absolutely
wouldn't.
not, right? The average income for somebody in America right now is around $40,000. So you
Right.
probably won't even survive the full year.
No,
Right?
not at all.
Right now,
Nope.
imagine if you go to the global economy where the banks go, where you get, for the sake of the example, 12%. That $10,000 becomes $2.5 million. Is it that? Would you rather have $40,000 or $2.5 million to retire?
2.5.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? That's exciting. But you know what's sad about this? You wanna know what's sad about this? The same $10,000 that you took to Citizens Bank, they went to the global economy, they got 12%. That means they got $2.5 million on your money. And they gave you the 3% that they promised you, which is $40,000, and they kept the rest. Now, if your money's gonna work hard either way, would you rather it work hard for you or for the bank?
For me.
For me,
For you, right? So what we do is
oh, my 2.5.
we teach people how to bypass the middleman because you don't need the bank. That's why the bank is not teaching you this, right? Because if you had known that you don't need them and that you could go to the global economy yourself where you could get the 12% yourself, they won't make any money. Now, would you say that this is important for people to know?
Yeah.
Now think of your aunts, your uncles, your sisters, your brothers, would they appreciate you for showing them this?
Yeah.
Now you're already setting up referrals. Now they're already thinking, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
people I know need to know this. Right? People I
Yep.
know need to know this. Now,
Yep.
imagine if you went and showed it to them, would they appreciate you more?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
would.
they probably love you
They
more,
love
right?
you.
Yeah.
I know they already love you, but they'd have a special place in their heart for you right now, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, the next one
RVP.
is the
Yo.
college. The next account is the college fund, right? So, as a Haitian immigrant, right? My parents always wanted me to go to college, but they never planned for me to go to college, right? And the reason I say that is, we have some of the best college plans in the nation, right? But unfortunately, my parents did not know about them. Now, some people that you and I know, they may have heard of them, but they don't know how to access them. We give them an opportunity to not only show them that they exist, but we also show them how to access those accounts, right? Because if I were to ask you, would you rather your child graduate college with student loan debt, or would you rather be in a position where you could help them financially?
That's a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer,
I
right?
can help them financially, yeah.
Absolutely. So it's always great to have a college fund, but we always recommend that you prioritize your retirement account. And the reason for that is let's be honest, a lot of fields that people go in now, they don't necessarily require a college college degree,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And not only that, I'm sure your child is very, very smart, probably like you. They got that from you guys, right? So I'm sure they could qualify. I'm sure they could qualify for all the other programs that allow them to still go to college even without a college fund, right? So always prioritize your retirement. And even the worst case scenario, you take care of your retirement well, you could use that money to help them go through college, right? But what you can't do is you can't use their college fund to retire with, right? So it's always important to have both, but prioritize your retirement, right? Now, the last account is income protection. Otherwise, you guys probably know it as life insurance, all right? So who do you guys have your life insurance with right now?
I don't have.
Primerica.
We don't have life
I don't have life insurance.
You don't have life insurance?
No.
In 2023?
No.
After COVID, you guys still don't have life insurance?
No, I'm young. I ain't
We don't
worried
need it
about
right
that.
now.
Oh, you don't need it right now.
No.
Okay. So, but I'm going to take 2 minutes just to show you exactly how important it is. And before I leave tonight,
It's just for funeral.
I'm gonna make sure. Yeah. So I'm gonna make sure that we set that up for you, right?
Okay.
Because it's very, very important. So life insurance or income protection is the foundation to your game plan. Yes.
I have mine with my job.
You have yours with your job. That's awesome.
I think I have one too with my job, right? Yeah, I think I have one.
Yeah,
too.
so if you guys have it with your job, that's amazing, right? I always find that people, even though they don't have it for themselves, their job offers it. And if your job is offering it, kudos to them. They're doing a great job. They're at least making it known that life insurance exists and it's important. Because if it wasn't important, would they really offer it to you?
No.
Absolutely
That's
not.
a good point.
But when you have it through your job, what happens when you're no longer in the job? Does that go with you? Like, can you take it to your next job?
I don't know. I never looked into that.
So, well, let me ask it this way. All the benefits you have at your job right now, if you're no longer at the job, do you still get those benefits? Like dental, health? And
No.
Absolutely not. Same thing with the life insurance. So if you're no longer at the job, you lose that, right? Even if you're at the job but you're not on payroll, you also lose it. How does that happen? Let's say, you get in a car accident and you're disabled, you're not able to work for a period of time, collection runs out, they figure, well, Alberto's not coming in, he's not on payroll. The second you sign that, you're going into disability, they take you off payroll. Once you're off payroll, guess what? You lose all those benefits as well, including the life insurance. Right? So now do you see why it's important for you to have your own personal life insurance?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now let me show you why it's not just for,
funeral.
For a funeral, right? So there is you, Alberto. You're much more handsome than that, and Orlane, you're much more beautiful, right?
Thank you. Appreciate that.
But I'm not the greatest painter or artist, right?
Got it.
So you guys have a couple children, right?
Right.
You guys have a home. And all the bills, right?
Yeah.
Now, both of you
We love it. Love bills.
Now, is it safe to say that Orlane, Alberto's money takes care of you, right?
Right.
Himself, the kids, the house, and all the bills.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And same thing with you, Alberto. Her money takes care of you, herself, the kids, the house, and all the bills, right? And if you look at it, it kind of looks like a heart.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not the best artist, but bear with me. It makes me feel better, right?
Okay,
So,
you got that.
Now let's say, knock on wood, right? You're on your way to work, like we said. Things happen, accidents happen. You get into a car accident where you're out of work for a little bit. Alberto, how hard, Orlane, is it going to be for you to not only take care of him and his difficulties, but also support the rest of the family and everything you got going on just off of your own income?
It's gonna be super hard.
It's gonna be super hard, right? And Alberto, if that were to happen to Orlane, would you agree with me? If we're being honest, it'll probably be a little bit more difficult for you to continue to take care of everything, right?
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now let's say, knock on wood, let's go further. You didn't just get hurt. You actually died.
Oh, yeah, we knocking on wood. We knocking.
Right. We don't like to talk about it, but it happens.
Yeah.
You actually died. Now, Orlane, how hard do you think it's gonna be?
Almost
not
impossible.
Impossible, right? And same thing with you, Alberto. It's going to be impossible for you to take care of everything while paying for a funeral. Right? Because what happens is we see those GoFundMes go up every day, right? Do you know that the average that any GoFundMe gets is around $2,500? So 99% of GoFundMes don't even reach their goals. Now, if you had to put up a GoFundMe to help you bury a loved one, how difficult would it be for you to actually reach those goals?
Very difficult.
Very difficult, right? Yeah. So the reason we call it income protection in Primerica is because if you have something like this in place, now even though you're suffering emotionally, you just lost a loved one, that income, that life insurance policy becomes what provides for Orlane, the kids, the house, and all the bills, right? Because now you have peace of mind. Right? Yes, you lost a loved one, but financially you're taken care of, right? And so you're not waiting 6 months to get things ready, right? So right away that, okay, you guys did what you had to do. You care about your family enough to have something like this in place, right? Because thankfully, even though life ends for us, it doesn't mean it ends for the rest of our family, right? Because life insurance is not for you. It's for the people that you leave behind. The kids still gotta eat. They still gotta go to school. The home still gotta get paid, right? And all the bills still has to get paid, right? See, I've witnessed where families, the breadwinner dies, and now the kids have to split up between family members, right? This kid goes with this person. This kid goes with this person. And sometimes you see that families move out of their house, go to a small apartment that's not even big enough for all of them. Now there's a drastic change of lifestyle that they weren't prepared for, which makes everything more stressful. With income protection, all of those problems kind of like, they're easier to manage, right? So what I'm saying is, if you go, your paycheck goes, right?
Right.
And if your paycheck goes, even if you have all of this in place, guess what? They go with you. Because you lose the checking and savings. You guys are not going to be funding the emergency fund or the retirement or the college funds, right? But your income protection replaces your paycheck. Now it's the one that provides for all these accounts, right? This is why we call it the foundation. It keeps the whole plan from collapsing, right? So if you are going to build a house, would you start from the roof or the foundation? Foundation, right?
Yep.
So what you just told me is we should be building a financial game plan this way. But what happens is, based on our education, you and I, most of the people that we know, 80 to 90%, they're building their financial game plan this way. Now what we need to do is, we need to go see these people and make sure that they're building it correctly. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This guy.
Boom. See, now the reason
Great job.
The reason why I didn't say, the three reasons why people don't have life insurance is because you got that transition I said from, your job offers it, so you know it's important, right? Now you know it's important. It doesn't really, now you already know. Okay, I got it.
So you don't have to give them the 3 hours.
Right. But I could still do it. Now let's get started on let's make sure that we have a life insurance policy put in place for you guys, and we'll send an application and we'll make sure we get that done, okay? Now there's 3 reasons why people normally don't already have life insurance. 1, they lack information, which I just gave you, right? Number 2, they're not sure how much it will cost. A lot of people think that it's very expensive, right? Because car insurance is expensive and stuff like that, right? So we could go through that. And number 3, I know this is not you guys, but believe me, these people exist. I've actually sat with a couple that said, I do not care about my family. I don't care about my kids. I don't care about my sister. I don't care, right? I know that's not you. So now that I just covered all the details about what life insurance is supposed to do, how much would you say that you could set aside every week to take care of your financial game plan?
$50.
$50. So that means every week you could set aside $50. That's $200 a month. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Great. So now I know I could set up a financial plan for them, right? In terms of life insurance, which is now gonna be $200,
right?
And the rest,
throw it into investment. Retirement.
Boom. So right then and there, you do everything, right?
Good
so
job.
this is the 6 accounts. And
Standing ovation.
Standing ovation, bro.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
That was your best.
Yo, I got a lot out of that. You kidding me? I gotta add to my presentation.
One of the questions I asked Saeed was, when I'm here to recruit somebody, it's still the 6 accounts, right? Because I didn't know how to connect it. From doing this to actually
you're
the recruit.
the recruit
Yeah.
part.
I'll do the recruiter part.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wait,
now,
new video.
Yeah.